Vamos! Grabe, ha?
Let's go.
100 million people inspiring them.
Oh.
Grabe.
Hello mga kababayan, sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa Pilipinas at sa lahat ng mga pupunta dito sa Thailand. I'm so excited na lumaban for you guys, for the country. I'm so excited for the team too.
Tears, betrayal, and a mother's love, the untold story behind Eala's heartbreaking meltdown at the Australian Open. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Court Vision Plus. Today, we are not just talking about tennis. We are not just talking about forehands, backhands, or scoreboards. We are talking about the raw, bleeding heart of a young girl carrying the weight of an entire nation on her shoulders, and the moment that weight finally crushed her. We are talking about the silence that follows the roar of the crowd, the darkness that creeps in when the cameras turn away, and the one person who stood tall when the rest of the world turned its back. You saw the headlines. You saw the score. You saw the devastating collapse. But you didn't see the tears that fell in the tunnel. You didn't hear the whispers of choke and disappointment that flooded social media like a toxic tidal wave. And you certainly didn't see the moment that saved her life. 13 simple words, whispered by a mother to her broken child, that stopped the bleeding. Come home, my love. In my heart, you will always be a champion. Today, we go deep. We are peeling back the layers of Eala's devastating Australian Open exit, the stinging meltdown against Alicia Parks, and the beautiful, tear-jerking redemption found in her mother's arms. Grab your tissues, because this story is going to move you beyond belief. Let's set the scene. Melbourne Park. The Australian Open 2026. The atmosphere is electric. It's the Grand Slam of the Asia Pacific, but for one day, Court 6 felt like Manila. Thousands of Filipinos had gathered, draped in the red, blue, and yellow of the flag, screaming their lungs out. They weren't just there for a tennis match, they were there for a coronation. Eala, the 20-year-old prodigy, the Rafa Nadal Academy graduate, the girl who had just broken into the world's top 50, was making her main draw debut. The expectations? Sky high. The pressure? Suffocating. And for the first 30 minutes, it looked like a fairy tale. It looked like destiny. Eala came out of the gates like a woman possessed. She wasn't just playing, she was painting lines, crushing winners, and dancing around the court with a swagger we hadn't seen before. 6-0. A bagel. She handed Alicia Parks, a dangerous American power hitter, a humiliating first set. The crowd went berserk. The flags waved. The chants of Alex echoed across Melbourne. It felt inevitable. It felt easy. But tennis, my friends, is a cruel, cruel sport. It is a sport where you are all alone. There are no teammates to pass the ball to. There is no clock to run out. It's just you, your thoughts, and the demons that live between your ears. And then, the shift happened. It was subtle at first, a missed serve here, a forehand into the net there. Alicia Parks, to her credit, didn't fold. She woke up. She started hitting the ball harder, flatter, deeper. And suddenly, the queen of the court looked like a little girl lost in the woods. The unforced errors started piling up. The confident strut turned into a nervous shuffle. The crowd, sensing the danger, tried to lift her up, but their cheers started to sound more like desperate pleas. The second set slipped away, 3-6. The momentum had swung so violently it could give you whiplash. But the third set? The third set was where the heartbreak truly began. Eala was fighting. Let's be clear, she didn't give up. She was scraping, clawing, trying to find that magic from the first set. But the harder she tried, the faster the sand slipped through her fingers. The scoreline ticked over, 2-6. Game, set, match, Parks. From a 6-love dominance to a first-round exit. The silence in the stadium was deafening. The flag stopped waving. The cheers died in the throats of thousands. And in the center of it all stood Alex Eala, head bowed, shoulders shaking, the weight of the loss crashing down on her like a ton of bricks. Now, this is where the story usually ends in the sports pages. Eala exits in first round. Meltdown in Melbourne. Statistical analysis. Cold, hard facts. But we don't do usual here. We do the truth. And the truth is, what happened next was a tragedy of modern sports culture. Almost immediately, the internet did what the internet does best. The fans, and I use that term loosely, turned on her. The same people who were calling her a national treasure 30 minutes prior were now flooding comment sections with venom. Choker. She's not ready. Overrated. Why did she give up? Embarrassing. Imagine being 20 years old. You've just had the worst day of your professional life. You've just had your dream shattered on a global stage. And you open your phone to see your own countrymen ripping you to shreds. It's a toxic fan culture that we see too often, but for Alex, who has always been the darling, the golden girl, this was a new, sharp kind of pain. It wasn't just a defeat, it felt like a betrayal. Reports from the ground say the scene in the players' tunnel was gut-wrenching. The adrenaline had worn off, and the reality had set in. Alex was inconsolable. The mask of the stoic athlete cracked. She wasn't the world number 49 anymore, she was a daughter who felt she had let everyone down. She felt the disappointment of the thousands in the stands, the millions watching back home. She felt the sting of every critical comment. She was drowning in negativity. And that is when she appeared. Eala. A mother first, a former athlete second. She didn't see a tennis player who had just lost a match. She saw her baby girl in pain. Witnesses say Alex burst into tears the moment she saw her mother. It was that primal release, the kind you only have with the person who gave you life. She collapsed into her mother's arms, sobbing, perhaps apologizing, perhaps asking why. The cameras were flashing, the world was watching, but in that embrace, the world disappeared. And then, Riza leaned in. She didn't offer technical advice. She didn't talk about forehands or unforced errors. She didn't tell her to toughen up. She delivered the only message that mattered. Come home, my love. In my heart, you will always be a champion. 13 words. Come home. A reminder that there is a place where she is safe. A place where her ranking points don't matter. A place where she doesn't have to be Alex Eala, the tennis star, but can just be Alex. My love. Unconditional. Not dependent on a win. Not dependent on a trophy. Just pure, unadulterated love. In my heart, you will always be a champion. The ultimate validation. The world might call you a loser today. The scoreboard might say you failed. But to me, you have already won. It was a masterclass in parenting. It was a shield against the arrows of criticism. In that moment, Eala reminded us all that sports are just games, but family is forever. She silenced the negativity not by fighting back with anger, but by drowning it out with love. To understand why this moment was so powerful, we have to understand the context. Why did Alex Eala crumble after winning the first set 6-love? Analysts are calling it a stinging meltdown, but let's look closer. Alex Eala is a trailblazer. She is the first Filipino woman to reach this level in the modern era. She isn't just playing for herself, she is playing for history. Every time she steps on the court, she is carrying the hopes of a nation that is starving for sporting glory. We saw it with Manny Pacquiao. We saw it with Hidalgo Diaz. And now, the spotlight is burning bright on Alex. That first set, that 6-love bagel, was pure adrenaline. It was the energy of the crowd fueling her. But adrenaline is a finite resource. When the adrenaline crashed, the pressure rushed in to fill the void. Alicia Parks, playing with nothing to lose after getting embarrassed in the first set, started swinging freely. Alex, playing with everything to lose, started to tighten up. Psychologists call it result anxiety. You start thinking about the finish line before you've run the race. You start thinking about the headlines. Alex Eala wins first round. And the moment your mind drifts to the future, you lose the present. The criticism that followed is a dark reflection of our times. We build our heroes up just to tear them down. The comments were brutal. She lacks stamina. Mentally weak. She's distracted. But let's get real for a second. This girl is 20. She has spent her teenage years thousands of miles away from home, grinding at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, missing birthdays, missing Christmases, sacrificing her childhood for our entertainment. She has broken into the top 50, a feat no other Filipina has achieved. She just came off a semifinal run at the ASB Classic in Auckland. She is rising. And yet, one bad match, one bad hour, and people forget everything. That is why the mother's intervention was so crucial. It was a circuit breaker. It stopped the spiral. If Riza had criticized her, or even just stayed silent, that loss could have haunted Alex for months. It could have been the start of a slump. But by framing it with love, by telling her to come home, she gave Alex permission to forgive herself. Let's talk about the fans for a moment. The keyboard warriors. After the match, social media was a war zone. While many true fans sent messages of support, the loud minority was vicious. Sion Langong exposure. Waste of exposure. Yui ka na lang. Just go home. The irony? Her mother told her to come home, but meant it as a sanctuary. The trolls said go home as an insult. The difference in those two phrases is the difference between love and hate. Alex Eala read those comments. We know she did. In the modern age, athletes are connected. They see the notifications. Imagine the mental fortitude it takes to read thousands of strangers mocking your failure and then get up the next morning and train again. This is the hidden battle of elite sports. It's not just forehands and backhands. It's mental warfare. And in this battle, Alex's mother was her general, her medic, and her shield. This isn't the first time we've seen this profound bond between Alex and her parents. Remember the SEA Games in 2025? When Alex won gold, the first thing she did was run to her parents. She took the gold medal off her neck and placed it on her mother, Riza. Why? Because Riza Manieguila was a bronze medalist swimmer in the SEA Games back in the 80s. She knows the struggle. She knows the sacrifice. When Alex put that gold medal on her mom, she was saying, we finished the journey. Now, fast forward to the Australian Open 2026. The narrative has flipped from victory to defeat, but the dynamic remains the same. In victory, they share the glory. In defeat, they share the pain. That is the definition of a support system. Mike Eala, her father, was there too, the silent pillar of strength. But it was the mother's instinct that took center stage this time. Mothers know when their daughters are breaking. Mothers see past the athlete to the child inside. Why are we making such a big deal out of 13 words? Why does this story matter more than the match stats? Because it humanizes the gladiator. We tend to look at athletes as machines. We expect them to perform, day in and day out. We get angry when they lose our bets or embarrass our national pride. But Alex Eala is human. She hurts. She cries. She doubts herself. And the crowd, oh, the crowd. The Filipino fans are the best in the world, but they are also the most emotional. As Alex started to lose, the energy in the stadium shifted from celebration to anxiety. A collective gasp with every error. A groan with every lost point. Alex felt that. She absorbed that anxiety. It became a feedback loop of nervousness. The tighter she got, the more mistakes she made. The more mistakes she made, the quieter the crowd got. By the third set, the body language told the whole story. Shoulders slumped. Racket dragging. Looking up at her box after every point with a look of desperation. What do I do? Her coach, Joan Bosch, tried to signal her to calm down. Tranquila, he likely mouthed. But the noise in her head was too loud. And then, the handshake. A quick, cold handshake at the net. Parks celebrating. Alex packing her bag as fast as humanly possible, head down, cap pulled low, trying to escape the arena before the tears fell. She almost made it. She almost made it to the locker room. But the emotions were too strong. And that is when she saw her mother. We need to talk about the role of the tennis parent. History is littered with toxic tennis parents. We've heard the horror stories of yelling fathers, demanding mothers, parents who see their children as ATMs. But the Eala family is different. They have always been portrayed as the anti-tennis parents. Grounded. Supportive. Realistic. Mike and Riza Eala have made massive sacrifices. Financing a tennis career is incredibly expensive. We are talking hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for travel, coaching, academies, physios. It is a gamble. A massive financial risk. They sent their daughter away at 13. Can you imagine the heartache of that? Sending your little girl to a foreign country, trusting strangers to raise her? They did it because they believed in her dream. Not their dream. Her dream. And this moment at the Australian Open proves that their priority has never wavered. When Alex lost, Riza didn't look at the financial loss. She didn't look at the wasted opportunity. She looked at her daughter's broken heart. Come home, my love. It implies that the home is a safe harbor. It implies that no matter how far she travels, no matter how famous she gets, she is still just their little girl. This is the secret weapon of Alexandra Eala. Many players on tour don't have this. They have parents who critique their every move. They have sponsors breathing down their necks. They have teams that only care about the 10%. Alex has a fortress of solitude in her family. And that is why she will survive this. So, where do we go from here? The Australian Open is over for her. The points are lost. The prize money is minimal. But the season is long. The tennis calendar is a marathon, not a sprint. Immediate next steps? She needs to decompress. The come home instruction should be taken literally. A few days in Manila or just away from the court. Eating adobo. Playing with her dogs. Forgetting about tennis. Then, the clay court season begins. Clay is Alex's natural habitat. It is where she learned her craft in Spain. The red dirt of Roland Garros suits her lefty spin. It gives her time to set up her shots. It neutralizes the big power hitters like Parks. Expect a resurgence in April and May. Expect her to grind through the European clay court swing. The goal remains the same, top 30 by the end of the year. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. That is the long-term horizon. Everything happening now, the losses, the tears, the lessons, is preparation for that Olympic stage. The meltdown in Melbourne will be a footnote in her biography. One day, when she is holding a Grand Slam trophy, she will look back at this moment. She will remember the sting of the loss. But more importantly, she will remember the hug. She will remember the 13 words. And she will realize that that moment was the turning point. The moment she realized that she didn't have to win to be loved. And ironically, that realization is exactly what will free her to win in the future. Because a player who plays without fear of losing is unstoppable. So, to Alex Eala, if you are watching this, ignore the trolls. Ignore the haters. Listen to your mother. You are a champion. The loss in Melbourne was just a plot twist in the movie of your life, not the ending. And to the fans, let's be better. Let's support our athletes when they are down, not just when they are holding gold medals. Let's be the home they can come back to. Come home, my love. In my heart, you will always be a champion. A mother's love is the greatest victory of all. What do you think, Court Vision Plus family? Was the criticism against Alex Eala unfair? Do you think she can bounce back and crack the top 30 this year? And have you ever had a moment where a loved one's words saved you from a dark place? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your messages of support for Alex. Let's flood the comment section with positivity. If this story moved you, if you believe in the power of family and the resilience of the human spirit, please hit that like button. It helps us share these important stories. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update on Alex, Eala, and the world of tennis. Until next time, keep your vision clear and keep the passion alive. This is Court Vision Plus, signing off.
Going through your mind right now?
I'm so blank. I'm thinking of my parents who are watching now. Mom, Dad, nakuha ko! Oh my God!
Things that I love about this city is we celebrate our multicultural, and I tell you what, we have some good Filipino whānau in the building tonight, ladies and gentlemen.